I heard you people like chill jams, so I brought some for you. Welcome to Kirby Squeak Squad.
Did you say Kirby Squeak Squad? Am I to understand there's mice in here?
Yeah, there are.
I am so excited for Kirby Squeak Squad, LaurieDBunnykins.
I am very excited too. So this is 100%. That doesn't really play into the first level of the game, so I'm going to take the first level to kind of explain the game, and before I actually explain what 100% means in this game. And to talk about the game, what you need to do is you need to get started. So, I'm going to get started in 3, 1, go. So, if you've ever heard of Kirby, I've been given an hour and 25 minutes to play it and talk about it, and I love doing both of those things. So, Kirby is a pink blob of, I'm pretty sure they're a god, and their special kind of gameplay mechanic in almost all of the Kirby games is that they can inhale and swallow enemies to take their power. So Kirby is a 2D platformer where you're kind of constantly switching the moves that Kirby can use. Kirby has a bunch of default moves, like he can float in the air, slide across the ground, all the sort of usual platformer stuff, and the first copy ability that we pick up in the run is the fire, because the fireball is very good for horizontal movement. If I am dashing, which I do by double tapping a horizontal direction, and then press the attack button, it will use the fireball attack, which is really good for movement in the early game. So it's kind of what you're going to see. It's going to be one of the most seen abilities in the run, just because of that horizontal movement combined with the ability to do pretty okay damage in a lot of situations. But we will have to switch abilities a lot because this is 100%. So as you see on this screen, there's a big tutorial about finding treasure. This game has 120 collectible treasure chests, and 100% I'm required to collect every single one of them. So you're going to be seeing a lot of bonus collectibles throughout the run. I think the any percent actually only collects like 7 or 8 chests, so a lot of these are like optional content, so it's really cool to see it all done in a run. At least I think so. This level is going to feature a lot of firsts. It's the first level with more than one chest, which kind of gets me to explain the inventory system you see on this touchscreen here. It's very unique, and this is the only Kirby game it's been featured in. You have kind of like a stomach/inventory system in Kirby Squeak Squad, and what you can do with it is you can store these bubbles, as you see, that have copy abilities, so I can kind of keep them in my inventory, and then if I have a bubble for a copy ability I want to use, I don't have to go to a level or like find a level that has the enemy. I can just use the bubble and then have the ability I want to use, which is really good for the run, because if you get bubbles of certain abilities that are fast, you can just kind of use them whenever you want. Like this fire bubble I have right here, I can just get my fireball back in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to do a skip here. I'm going to spit out this chest as I collect this one, and that cutscene is about 10 seconds shorter because I did that. That was our introduction to the Squeaks, a thieving group of mice who serve as the antagonists of this game, because they also want treasure, but we want treasure, so we have to kind of get the treasure from them.
No.
And I'm sorry. Basically, they took our cake, which was in a treasure box, so we need to find the treasure box with the cake. And here I'm doing a thing in a Kirby game called a mix. As I mentioned, the main gimmick in Kirby is that you inhale, that gives you an ability. If you inhale multiple enemies that have an ability within the same inhale, the game will spin a roulette wheel to determine what power-up you get. That wheel is in the same order every time you do a mix, and the place it starts in the wheel is dependent on which enemy hits your mouth first. So they're completely manipulatable, albeit 4-frame windows to actually get what you want. So I went back into 1-3 after completing it and mixed off of the enemies so that I could get the, which is the best in almost every Kirby game for speedrunning. Because as you can see, it is a very, very fast movement tool. I mentioned that the fireball was good for horizontal movement. Wheel is absolutely insane for movement in this game, and it makes it a much quicker run than normal. On top of that, you have wheel jumps. If I press A and B, or if I press the jump button like very soon before I hit the wheel button, when I go into wheel, I will keep moving upwards to traverse basically the whole screen vertically. In what's called a wheel jump. Wheel jumps exist in many Kirby games, but this is probably the most extreme example of a wheel jump in the series, with how much height you can gain from them.
And you get a cool hat.
You do get a cool hat. That's just kind of a thing you get in a lot of Kirby abilities, but the wheel hat is very nice. I'm going to take a second while I'm in this extra stage to talk about what some of the treasures do. One of the most notable is the secret keys. There's one in each world. There are 8 worlds in this game. And the secret keys allow you access to an extra stage in each world. They don't do anything particularly noticeable. It's just that since there's treasure chests in them, they're required for the 100% completion of this game. So in 100%, you get to see an extra level in each world. With the exception of World 8, actually, the final world. An extra level in each. So that's like more content, which is neat. There are also, a lot of them are cosmetic. There's sprays, which let you change Kirby's color. There's sound test options. There are these puzzle pieces that you can find to find these nice little graphics. But then there are some that are actually going to be useful, like the vitality upgrades, which there are 8 of in the game, and for every 2 you get a like health bar, like a maximum health increase, which is really nice. And there are also scrolls. There's a scroll for each copy ability in the game, and each scroll adds an extra move to the copy ability to make it even more useful. So over the run, you're gonna see each copy ability gain a new like attack or like little thing it can do that makes it even better. And this game does have a pretty, like, I'm gonna be using a somewhat big chunk of the copy abilities that exist in this game. So I'll kind of get to talk about that. That was the fight against King DDD. The big thing there is you want to time your wheels, because if you rev up your wheel too early, you can't do that stun lock. And also, if you bonk into the wall on the right side instead of killing your wheel at the right side, you will get bonked right into DDD and take damage. And taking damage in this game, a lot of Kirby games are kind of different about this work. Squeak Squad is very mean. If you get hit basically at all, you will lose your copy ability and you'll have to go get it back. So not getting hit at all is ideal in this game because of just how annoying it can be to get your copy ability back at certain times. But that is pretty simple from there. Coming up here, I'm going to take a little bit to talk about the squeaks. Basically, most levels have these blue chests that get one of the squeaks onto you. And there are 3 you're basically going to see the whole time. And those are Storo, Spinny, and Doc. Spinny's the one that just spawned in this level. The yellow ninja moves very fast, and basically every encounter with Spinny, you have to run away instead of actually fighting. The 2 who you will usually have to fight are Storo and Doc. I believe we see Storo in this level, but I won't have to do the fight. I'll be able to just leave the screen. Storo is an absolute unit, to put it lightly. He is very large, has a lot of very slow yet powerful attacks. And most of the time when you're forced to do battle with one of the squeaks, it will be Storo. Storo has a really funny luck-based thing where about at a halfway point through the fight, he will get stunned, and he can choose to fall asleep when he's stunned. And that just kind of is entirely luck-based and wastes like 5 seconds. I think there are a few instances where it's not luck-based, but I don't know them, so it's entirely luck-based. There we go. And then there's Doc, who pilots a UFO. Usually strikes a good balance between when you fight him and when you can just kind of run away from him. But all in all, he's pretty easy most of the time. And then the big thing about the blue chest is that when a blue chest is on screen and a Squeak spawns, they will have a little den. You might have noticed it on that past screen. The Squeak's goal at each level that has a blue chest is to get the blue chest into that little den. Because if they do, they will try and, or they will retreat into it, and you have to very quickly enter the den before it closes, and then do a required battle with them in their den before you can get the blue chest of the level. So if I mess up, and there are certain levels where it's a lot more likely to happen, if I mess up at any point, I can get a chest taken from me and have to do an otherwise optional mini-boss battle. Which hopefully doesn't happen, because it's very slow. This level I'm actually doing a very interesting strategy that I'd like to go over. So I need an extra space in my inventory to fit the third chest that's going to be a little bit later in the level. So I'm going to toss it out before this mini-boss. This bubble ability is actually exclusive to Kirby Squeak Squad, and the thing that it can do is when you kill an enemy, instead of it just kind of disappearing, it will actually turn into a bubble of the ability that the enemy usually gives you when you swallow it. So, what I do there is I use Bubble to kill 3 enemies that usually don't give you an ability at all, and they give me this little star bubble that I can combine into a triple star. On top of swallowing enemies for their ability, you can also spit out enemies as projectiles once you inhale them in your mouth. And one thing that can do is if you get multiple enemies in your mouth, you can kind of make a more powerful shot. So what I did there by getting 3 stars of normal enemies is I can press that star bubble at any time and get a projectile that is as powerful as 3 enemies being spit out at once, which is good for breaking certain blocks that I'll be using later to get a treasure chest. But for now, in this very short level, each world in this game, with the exception of World 8 again, because it's the final world, has this kind of like one-off level that's very short, and only has 1 chest. Usually the Squeaks don't appear in it, and it is usually good for donations, like a quick one. However, because I was explaining that those levels exist, I kind of already beat the level. But fortunately, there's a good spot for donations in, like, the first half of this level.
Like now?
Yeah, like right now.
Oh, perfect. Okay, because we do have a $50 donations from Happy Nato, who says, all bundled up for a cozy weekend of queer gaming excellence. Stay safe, have fun, and best of luck to all the runners. Thank you so much.
We have time for probably 1 or 2 more because we have a very slow mini-boss coming up.
Right. I'll squeak some more in. We have another $50 donation by Dr. Goldfire 249 without a comment, but with a whole lot of heart and a whole lot of things for me. Thank you so much. And another $50 donation from Rams that says, Is that the boss?
Yeah, that was the boss done.
It's not a mouse though.
Well, there are mini bosses other than the mice.
Oh, okay. I guess that's alright.
Either way, so I beat that. He has the metal ability, which makes Kirby move very slow. So I don't want to, like, have it as much as I can. I want to just carry it in my mouth. That's a lot easier. Then, right after that boss, I'm going to be setting up a mix on these 2 Waddle Doos, which is very hard. I have to hit them with a puff of air while they're floating down on the parasol to knock them into that wall. And then, just like every other mix, once I get both of them in my mouth, I have to do a 4-frame input in order to actually get the ability I want from the roulette wheel. I got a second try, which is pretty good for that mix because it's a very hard setup to do.
Mouse.
Pretty cool. Particularly like 2 levels from now. So I didn't want to use it, and that mix was a much easier alternative way to get the wheel. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My internet just had a very bad spike. I'm aware of those.
I'm sorry. We're getting like the general idea. You apparently you won.
Yeah, I'm winning.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I've had some problems with my internet the past few days, but I figured I could probably at least get this run done, but particularly today, it's not being great, so I'm sorry if that happens like a few more times during the run. So this is the second extra stage. It has some very interesting things. I'm gonna grab Sword for the Bonkers mini-boss, and then use Hammer, which he drops. It's a very good attacking ability. Not too great for movement, but with Kirby's basic slide, like, I can still move pretty fast, especially with, like, at this here. That was okay. And then I want to go on the bottom path in this room because I want to grab the invincibility candy that's in that bubble right there. And then I'm going to grab a chest from this golden waddle leaf. The golden waddle leaves are a mechanic where they're an enemy that drops a chest, but they kind of are hard to catch at certain points and can die without being able to be respawned.
Oh, like a money goblin.
Kinda, yeah. This room is one of the most unique strats in the game and takes advantage of a very unique mechanic that Kirby's Squeak Squad, thanks to its kind of inventory mechanic being tied to Kirby's mouth and swallowing, is one of, if not the only Kirby games that allows you to carry things in your mouth through doors. In most games, if you have something in your mouth when you enter a door, you'll usually just spit it out. However, in this game, you're allowed to carry things through doors. So if I have 3 things in my inventory, so I don't have space for 3 chests, if I hold one of the chests in my mouth, like I did there, it will still count as being collected if I finish the level with it. So I was able to do that to finish the level while still having my full inventory intact here. Going into the boss, we have Miss Molly, who's pretty mean. However, fortunately, didn't do the mean thing that she can usually do, which is, you might have noticed she comes out of the mole holes, and there are 3 in the background, which I can't back around. So she can choose to do some attacks from the background where I can't hit her, and she is very annoying about it. So fortunately, that didn't happen. So going into World 3, I have to kind of start doing a few things for my route. Not immediately into this world, but like pretty soon. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about bubble mechanics because there's a pretty important thing coming up. And that is what you can do within your inventory to make things more interesting. There are 2 things of note. There are ability combinations, and there are question mark bubbles. Also, I'm going to use my triple star right so that I can get this chest without having to grab that fire enemy, and that way I can keep wheel even further. So there are 2 things, ability combinations and question mark bubbles. So question mark bubbles are kind of like mixes, except you get them as usable items in your inventory. So that makes them very interesting because, unlike the normal mixes that I do in this run, where, you know, I can manipulate their starting point depending on what enemies I eat, they just start from a completely random point. And that can make them very tricky to use fast. However, like, world record routes will use question mark bubbles like reliably. Because they still have the same order as mixed roulettes, they're technically just as manipulatable, although a lot harder. Top runners will go for like question mark mixes like that. However, I'm using a route that does not require I use question mark bubbles like at all. If a question mark bubble ends up working out for me, like, that's neat, but I don't have to rely on it like some runners do in their routes. And then there's also ability mixes, which are entirely luck-based. Basically, if I mix together 2 bubbles in my inventory, you can usually combine things. So, like, for example, if you have 2 pieces of food in your inventory that are bubbled, and you combine them, you can combine them into a piece of food that heals more. if you combine two abilities, one of two things will happen. And one of them is they have synergy, so something like Fire and Sword can be combined to create Fire Sword once you get the scroll, the ability scroll for Sword. However, if an ability doesn't have compatibility like that, if I mix it together, like I'm going to right here, I will just get a random ability. So the thing about that is, unlike the question mark bubbles, I can't get things like foods, so there's a higher chance of getting the thing I want if the thing I want is the ability. However, unlike the question mark bubbles, they're just completely luck-based. And while my route does not require any question mark bubble mixes, it does require that I try to get wheel at 2 different points using completely luck-based ability mixes. And fortunately, because of how many ability bubbles are in this game, you have a lot more attempts to do them than ability mixes. But one downside of ability mixes is I can't use those to get invincibility candy bubbles. So I'm going to be using an alternate method that'll explain when I get to World 5. Until then, it's just kind of, if I need an invincibility candy, I'll have already gotten it from somewhere. The big thing about this game is routing with what you have, which is why I don't want to do a route with too much luck built into it. But there's always going to be luck in games. Except for games where there aren't luck, I guess. I don't know.
It varies. So I'm guessing, like, the ability mixes you're talking about are not something you can, like, RNG manip or, like, be frame perfect on, like the
I don't believe so. People that have played this game more than me and are probably a lot better than me on it probably know things that I don't. But from my understanding, if you don't want to go for the question mark bubble mixes, the best thing you can do is just kind of have a fun encounter with luck and see how it ends up. Fortunately, I kind of have like a whole lot of instances where I'm able to get the luck-based mix, so it's not that bad. It's not like if I don't get like one thing, it's like I'm losing a lot of time. However, it is definitely still possible for you to not get the luck that you need within the amount of tries you have to get it, and then you're just gonna like lose time at a certain point in the run. With that being said, actually no, we can read donations soon, but not quite yet, because I want to mention one thing. One of the treasure rewards that you can get in this game that I talked about earlier is these spray cans, like these cans of spray paint that can change Kirby's color palette. My favorite color, lavender, is a reward in this level. So I'm going to be using it for the rest of the run. Kirby's no longer pink. we are done. The color doesn't change anything. In fact, it wastes time to equip a color, but like purple, you know?
Yeah. It's important to, like, you know, have your best.
Yeah. I would say Sunday best, but it is very Friday.
It is incredibly Friday.
It really is. But with that said, we can probably go for donations or announcements or anything you have to say all the way until the boss of World 3.
Nice. I do have some donations. We have a $25 donation from Tuna with no comment. Thank you so much. And another $25 donation with no comment by Professor NES. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. And you're helping support a great cause in the Trevor Project. And we also have a $19 donation from TJB saying, nice.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, one more. We have a $20 donation from Dr. No that says, eek. Eek. Eek.
Alright. So yeah, we're coming up at the end of 3 secrets, which means that, what's it called? That means that 3-5 is gonna be that like one-off level that I mentioned earlier. Kind of like how 2-4 was really short. This is gonna be another one of those levels that's like very short. So we'll be at the boss very soon.
All right, well, I'm eager to see that battle, and until then, I just want to remind folks that this is Winter Pride 2020 benefiting the Trevor Project, and you can donate using !donate right in the chat, and also check out the schedule using !schedule. What's your favorite way to say exclamation mark? Is it bang, exclamation?
I have no idea. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, me neither, but now I have to like read these out loud and oh, right. How do you say words?
I don't know.
We're just doing our best.
So, coming up is the boss fight against Krakow, who is a very common Kirby enemy, who is a cloud. Except this one is very interesting because it is actually a robot cloud that is being controlled by Doc, who I mentioned is the more mechanically inclined of the Squeaks. If I do that really cool fireball strategy, I can hit it with my invincibility candy while it's going across the bottom sweep of the screen on its second phase, and basically just like cheese the entire fight. That was a really good Mecha Krakow.
I appreciate the cheese.
I'm glad you did.
So who was the really cool mouse right at the start there?
Which one?
The one in the red outfit that just like summoned Mecha Krakow.
Oh, that was DeRoche. That is the leader of the Squeak Squad.
Oh.
Also, as you notice there, if you notice on the bottom screen, I mixed my 2 abilities that I had, my Tornado, and I got Wheel. So I don't have to, like, try and collect all the ability bubbles now. I have that, and I'm gonna use that. That's gonna be there for a while. So, yeah, that's the first of the 2, like, entirely luck-based things just finished.
It's gotta be a relief.
Yeah, it really is. This screen is very difficult. I'm gonna move that laser ball in a specific way to get 2 enemies in my mouth at the same time so that I can spin a projectile through walls to hit a bomb block here, skipping a puzzle. I'm then going to not collect the treasure chest quite yet, but actually use this laser ball and this bomb enemy to do another mix that I got first try, when I'm really happy about because that's the hardest mix in the run. Usually mixes are difficult because not only are they a 4-frame window, but it's not like just you're matching. I have to wait. So for example, the very first mix I do in the run, wheel is the 6th thing in the roulette. So I have to wait 20 frames before going for my 4-frame window. That one is the 13th ability in the wheel. So I have to wait for 12 times 4. 48 frames, which is over 3/4 of a second before hitting a button in a 4-frame window. So
very frame per second?
I believe so.
Whoa.
I've run a lot of other Kirby games that run at 60, and in all of them, mixes are 4 frames. And the mixes in this game feel the exact same. So.
That's some incredible timing.
It's something you really like learn how to do, and then in a lot of games you kind of get in a rhythm. Like for example, Amazing Mirror is known for having some mixes that you have to do incredibly late on the mix wheel. Like the run starts with a mix where the wheel is like the 17th ability on the roulette, and so you kind of what I do with 17 is a lucky number, where it's, if you subtract it from 16, you get 1. So you can kind of like count in 4s, like a musician or something.
Oh.
So you kind of learn to do things like that just to make it easier. So it's kind of like muscle memory. I don't even know what muscle memory is. That's a term that gets used a lot in speedrunning, and I'm still not sure how it works.
Yeah, I encountered that while playing some rhythm games, but yeah, it is absolutely a thing where like you're I read a book about learning that described it as like making smaller circles and basically letting your subconscious handle some of the load. So basically your body and parts of your brain that aren't super active are like just learning what the timing is, and you don't even have to think about it. It's like walking.
Also, I got extremely lucky there. So as you saw on that part with the water, an enemy ate me. And as I mentioned earlier in this game, an enemy like hitting you in this game at all basically means your ability is gone. But enemies in this game that aren't meant to be aquatic also instantly die when they touch water. So since the water in that part rushed up to the enemy before the enemy's animation of eating me finished, it never finished eating me, so I never took damage, so I never lost my wheel, so I still have my wheel. I'm very lucky.
It never finished eating me is like incredible.
It never finished eating me. Yeah, so I didn't lose time.
That's great.
I love not losing time.
Yeah, I wonder how Kirby feels about being eaten by an enemy, considering that's this whole shtick.
He might take it to court. So I have a bunch of like I have an extra ability in my inventory right now that I don't need because I already have my wheel. So I need to find a place to clear it out because, as I mentioned earlier, because you need to get like usually 3 chests in each level, inventory management's a big thing in this game. So there goes that fire. I think actually we switched to fire later in this level. So I could have like very subliminally saved a bit of time without even trying, but I didn't remember until now. 4-4 is actually a very scary level because there's a lot of like tight areas where I have to use wheel pretty particularly. But I'm doing good so far. And coming up we have a mini boss fight against a crab.
There's gotta be a crab. It's a video game.
Yeah. He doesn't really have a weak point I can attack for massive damage.
Aww.
But, I mean, he is a crab. So, we're like 1 for 2. Okay, so here, yeah. I need to get rid of wheel because there's fire in this room. And fire in this room, there are metal blocks. And I need fire to melt them so that I can get the chest in here. However, we're in luck because this wheel bubble I have currently is from the luck-based thing, so I don't want to use it yet because I want to use it at a later point in the run. However, the game just kind of also puts a wheel bubble right here, so I can use wheel again. It's cool.
Nice. Also, you didn't mention how adorable the crab was.
I didn't mention how adorable the crab was. I just mentioned that it was a crab.
Yeah, what a precious bean.
Mm-hmm. It's covered in bubbles. I like Bubble Crab from Mega Man X2. Also, there's Storo sleeping. I don't think it happened yet. That's the sleeping that wastes like 3 seconds and it's completely luck-based.
Sometimes you just need to take a nap.
Honestly, I feel that. Yeah, so coming up next...
this chunky mouse.
Coming up next, we have the next extra stage, which is a pretty cool one. The end of the level is actually in this room, and I'm pretty sure you can finish the level without doing anything. But since all the chests are in the like body of the level, I can't just finish the level. I have to go up and, you know, play a game. Which is cool, I guess. I guess games are fun.
It's an acquired taste.
Kirby is pretty good at acquiring tastes. I would like my power-up back. Can I get my... Oh, good, I got my power-up back. I almost didn't get my power-up back there. That was bad.
You made it work, though. You rolled with it.
Yeah. Okay. I had a very weird thing happen to me with those spikes yesterday where I lost my unit before, so I was a little bit scared. But it didn't happen. We're good. I'm getting a little bit low on the health side of things, which is scary, but what if I just don't get hit again? That's a good idea.
Don't get hit.
Yeah. The secret to games.
I keep forgetting Kirby has health.
Yeah. A growing child. We need to stay healthy.
Yeah. Oh, do we have time for some donations?
Yeah, coming up we have another one of those, like, short levels before the boss fights. So we have time for, like, one or two. Especially because this one, actually, I have to just wait for something to happen, so...
Perfect. We have a $25 donations from Sook that says...
Feel that.
And we also have a $10 donation from Evelyn that says, "Good day, everyone. These are trying times, so be sure to take care of yourselves and remember the communities you're a part of and have helped foster. You're all loved and appreciated, so reach out if you feel overwhelmed. Hydrate, get some food in you, take your meds, and be gentle with yourselves because you're worth it and you deserve it, and let's keep making wonderful things together." Oh, thank you.
So, coming up, we have another boss fight. This is a boss fight that very low amounts of people actually know the official name of this boss fight, and it's a very cool name. So this is Yadogane, and we're going to use Tornado. Tornado is very good. In the very first Kirby game that had copy abilities, Kirby's Adventure, it's like the undisputed best in that game. And it's not as strong now, but it's still very good. As you see, we can just kind of tear through that boss by sitting in their face, and they can't do anything. So, very easy fight. And that's the start. So now we're on World 5, which is probably one of the very scariest points of the run. Just because of like how much non-wheel usage there is, and then also lava. It's a volcano. Lava is scary in Kirby games because lava and fire does this cool thing where elemental attacks like lava or fire, ice, and electricity have special hit animations that I'm pretty sure all take longer than the normal hit animation. And then also touching, if you like get hit and lose your copy ability, and your copy ability touches like fire or lava or something that's burning, it will instantly just explode and you can't get your ability back. So this is an area where getting hit is very bad as opposed to the usual amount of very bad. Because it's very easy for your run to go very far south in World 5. That was an okay 5-1 though. It doesn't have a lot of lava. Or 5-2 does have significantly more fire and lava.
Yeah, especially with like this game where you're like storing so many abilities for later, like just getting thrown off your like route has got to be tricky.
It really is. There are some like time-consuming backups you can do where you can be like, if I really need a bubble for something, I can go find a level that has it. But like, you really don't want to do that. And like, there are some Kirby games in certain circumstances where it's better to backtrack for an ability, but for the most part, like, you have a specific route you want to follow, but at the same time, you don't want to backtrack. So like, if you lose an ability that you need to like figure out a backup, and that gets even more tricky in 100% runs where you need certain abilities for certain puzzles, because if you lose that ability, you might just have to replay the whole stage. And in this game in particular, you need to beat a level while holding a treasure chest for you to collect it. So missing a treasure chest in the stage means replaying the whole level. Instead of just like most Kirby games where you can just go back in, get the secret thing, and then leave. Oof. Also, a Kirby game wouldn't be a Kirby game without a mini-boss arena, and a Kirby game with a mini-boss arena wouldn't be a Kirby game with a mini-boss arena without having collectibles after each mini-boss that require you to take the ability that the mini-boss gives you. So this is just going to be a mini-boss arena where I'm going to fight a mini-boss and then eat it, and then get a treasure chest. So feel free to go through more announcements as I just kind of fight things.
Absolutely. Because here at Winter Pride 2020, we are just getting started for this entire, like, 3-day marathon, and if you are, like, enjoying this wonderful Kirby Squeak Squad run, and you like how fast Kirby goes, then you should probably stick around for the next run, which will be Freedom Planet, another very fun, speedy platformer, and it's so good! It's so good! And we're almost closing in on that big 2K donations for the Trevor Project, so thank you again, everyone, for everything you're doing to help this really wonderful charity.
So we have one more boss in this mini-boss gauntlet. Since I grabbed this blue chest, I do have to fight one of the Squeaks. Fortunately, there's a really funny strat here where you can go into their hut before they get into the hut, and they're just kind of storing a hammer in here, which I'm going to use because it's one of the best defensive abilities in the game. With the hammer flip.
I totally keep a hammer in my hut.
Yeah. I was ready for that hit. And then I'm going to immediately get rid of the hammer. And the reason I'm doing that is because now that I've beaten 5-3, I am going to do 5-3 again. Not really. I'm actually just going to go back into 5-3, get these two enemies, and do another wheel mix. I messed it up, so I have to try it again. There we go, second try. So this, I mentioned a while ago that I'm not doing like question mark bubble mixes. Usually those are used in like world record routes for invincibility candies. 5-4 with the invincibility candy at the very beginning of the level is going to basically be my hub to just grab free invincibility candies for the rest of the run. If I ever need an invincibility candy for any reason, I'm going to 5-4. For the most part, that is. There are other invincibility candies I can grab that are faster in certain situations. This can be one of the scariest rooms in the game that I just got through for like losing your ability, because there's lava all over the walls. However, I did a setup with a specific wall near the beginning of the room and just like didn't have to worry at all about what's it called? About losing my ability, because I got to perfectly fly past all the enemies until the end of the room.
Gosh, those setups are worth their weight in gold, dang.
Yeah, 5-4 is one of the scariest levels when you're first learning because of that second room, and just kind of in general, all the rooms with fire all over the place. Makes it one of the easiest levels in the game for your ability to just go poof, and like you just got your wheel, so you don't want to lose it. Granted, the level after this, there's going to be a lot of ability trading. So coming up next is the 5 extra level. Here's what we're going to do. We have 5 doors we can go through in any order. I am going to go in the middle door. Lose my wheel. I usually want to lose it later in the room, but there is fine, because I'm going to grab this chest. There is a hammer bubble right here, and I'm going to immediately equip hammer. I can use it both to get out of that room faster, and in this room to get the second chest of the level. And then I can go to the right, and this is where the end of the level as well as the Squeak encounter is. And this is where I'm going to use that luck-based wheel I got. I want to speed through this room because it's the only way possible to actually get to the chest and the Squeak that you need to fight here before like before they get it back to the den, and you have to do the optional fight in the den that I talked about earlier. However, I messed up my movement in that room anyways, so I have to do this optional fight anyways. So this is what it looks like. That's what it looks like when you mess up getting a chest in this game. You have to go into the den, do the optional fight all the way through, and then you're allowed to leave with the blue chest. If you wait too long after a Squeak goes into the den to enter the den yourself, they eventually block it off, and you just don't have to the blue chest anymore, so it's very scary. But coming up, we have another boss fight. Before that boss fight, I'm going to go back to 5-4, get a second invincibility candy. And then I'm going to go into the boss fight. This is a very annoying boss fight. In my practice, I've been doing a good job here, so hopefully I didn't just jinx it. This is Bobo. You can see him in the background now. And he's going to fly here. He's going to start with a charge attack based, usually, there it is, based on my position. And ideally, I will aim the charge attack right to where he will bonk into the ground and then take a long time flying back up. If I do it right like that and he doesn't be mean, the fight is just that easy. If you do it wrong, he has an attack where he can go into the background, and an attack where he moves all over the place, and your invincibility candy will run out when you're only halfway done with its health bar, and it's one of the most annoying things in the whole game. Fortunately, that fight went well. Also, I should mention, because I just saw a message about it in chat, just kind of naturally my capture card video. I'm sorry, I can't really do anything about it.
It's okay. Like, you know, we're doing the best with the technology we got.
So I'm going to use my invincibility candy on that boss, or that mini boss rather. Unfortunately, they didn't go off screen at all, so I was able to do that fight really fast. There's a chest in this room, and then I think another one in this room, yeah.
Ice wheels.
Ice wheel, yeah, that's the wheeled scroll. When I run across fire, ice, or electricity, it turns into fire wheel, ice wheel, or spark wheel. Ooh. Pretty cool, but also the ice is pretty slippery, so I have to be careful when I'm like trying to either cancel my wheel or maybe slide on the ice in later levels where I don't have a wheel. We'll get to that though. This room is pretty tricky. If I don't do this movement like just right to get this chest, Sora will go into the den and I'll have a Sora fight. It's a pretty hard chest to get, but I've been practicing that screen specifically just so I don't lose time on that level. 6-2 is the only level that has the chill jam that I was playing at the beginning. So I'm gonna let this music play because I actually like it a lot, and it's the only place in the whole Kirby series that this music actually plays. Oops, the Squeaks have a banger theme song, and it has to play now. Sorry if you like the chill jam. Ooh, I got that. That was a nice little jump where I grabbed the chest bottom part of the hitbox, so I didn't, like, land on the platform the chest was on. Saved a little bit of time. I've been missing that in practice, so I'm excited to get it.
Nice, congrats.
Coming up is a pretty interesting mix. This room right here has some enemies at the end of it, all in a nice little line. So I'm actually going to toss my wheel and go for a mix for hammer. I didn't get it, but fortunately, just like every other mix, I can just respawn the enemies and try it again. There we go, second try. So the reason I want hammer is because I need it for a chest on this screen. Simple as that. if I need something, I also need to get it. That's kind of the big thing. As soon as I hit that peg, I'm good to stop using hammer, and I'm going to grab high jump, an ability I used on one screen previously. High jump is actually a personal favorite of mine casually. You just press the B button, and you get a very powerful jump that lets you damage things.
That looks really fun.
It is very fun. This room is great if I do it right. I literally just right and mash B. I'll grab the chest, and then I can keep going to the end of the screen. I'm going to use that item now to clear my inventory. And then this level has a lot going on in terms of ability. So let's make sure I get everything correct here.
You got this.
Alright, so to start, I'm gonna go into 6-4, immediately toss my high jump, grab bubble. There's a fire enemy right here. I'm gonna hit it with a bubble so that it becomes a bubble so that I put it in my inventory. And then I'm also, okay, I'm gonna get hit, but I need the bubble back because I'm actually gonna do the same with sword right here. There's a sword enemy. I'm gonna grab it. And then also grab that chest. As soon as I grab that chest, I'm going to use fire so that I can move faster. I'm also going to get eaten by this enemy, but whatever. So I'm going to use fire to move faster through this room, and then as soon as I get to the next room, there's an enemy with tornado that I'm going to grab. I want to use tornado in this room over fire because there is a mini-boss coming up. We have the adorable bubble crab again. Oh no, this is Boxy. I'm sorry. Sorry if I got anyone's hopes up for the crab. But Ice Tornado absolutely like slays mini boss health bars in this game, so that's why I want Tornado for this room. Then in this room, I didn't want to use Tornado really. I'm going to do two things. One, I am going to start on the quest of combining abilities for the second wheel bubble, and I got it immediately on the very first luck-based mix I did for it. So that's the second of two luck-based wheels I need to get in the run. I'm going to also use sword there. I'm going to equip it to get that second chest, and then immediately use high jump, and I'm going to use high jump for the rest of the level.
Talk about your wheels of fortune.
Yeah, that really is a wheel of fortune. So now I don't have to deal with, like, randomly grabbing abilities and stopping my momentum to use the touchscreen anymore, which is, well, I still have to do things on the bottom screen, but, like, I don't have to worry about grabbing wheel anymore, which is really good. I'm very blessed with that. And also that was a good 6-4. I got, like, hit a few times in certain areas and didn't do it optimally, but I'm not going to complain about already having my next wheel bubble. And then 6-5 has the only use in the run, actually, of the ninja ability for the fight against Spinny. This is going to be like a boss rush of the 3 major Squeak mini-bosses, so not too much going on. Because I've already kind of shown all of these. But yeah, I'm going to use a Ninja Star into Ninja Scroll ability, which is that little fire explosion to stun lock Spinny. And then I'm just going to kind of use Sword for the next 2 fights, because Sword does good damage. So if you want to read some donations while I swing a sword at some mice, now's a good time. I'm sorry.
Right. It's okay. It's okay. It's for the best. It's for charity.
It's for speedrun.
Yeah, we have a $25 donation from Garby. Says, "Good luck, Laurie. Let's get that Eat Girl True Pure 80%."
Yes.
And we have a $10 donations from Lat Mac. He says, "PUWP hype. Good luck to Laurie and all the runners." Have time for one more?
One more.
One more. We have $25 from Red Queen Running that says, I don't know how you pronounce this. Poyo.
Poyo! It's the sound that Kirby makes.
Oh.
Very cute. Kirby is cute.
What a precious bean.
Okay, hold on, I need a second. So, the beginning of this level, I'm supposed to get a wheel, except I accidentally killed the enemy that carries it, and then because I broke one of its blocks, it just drove off screen. So, give me a second. I need to actually get the ability, please. Come on, please. Please, come back, please. Respawn, please. Okay, this is bad. There we go. It drove to the right. We're good. That was a really funny time loss, but, now we have wheel again. Yay. I don't really know what else to say about that. It's good.
Yeah, sometimes bad stuff happens, and we make the best we can with it. I do like the lavender wheel. That's a really that is a good
really
color.
good. Yeah. I have a friend who their favorite is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so something bad happened there that I didn't want to happen, but I got through it. No bad things. They are a big fan of the emerald spray paint, which also has, like, I like it, but then also its wheel is not as pretty in my opinion. So, lavender it is. Also, you get lavender way earlier in the game than emerald. Sorry, emerald fans.
Is there a good blue spray paint?
Oh, probably, yeah. I'm just a big purple, so I don't see. But yeah, I think there's like ocean is one of them.
Ooh.
We could switch to ocean if you want, if I have it.
You don't have to, but you got time. Also, gosh, we are $11 away from 2K.
Oh, jeez. So, now we're on the boss of World 6, which is our first of 2 actual boss encounters with DeRoach, the leader of the Squeak Squad. I'm gonna use an invincibility candy. Also, yeah, we're finally having a battle with the mouse with the cool hat.
Yeah!
He's actually mean. I don't like him. He likes to teleport around a lot. And that wastes time. Because if he teleports too much, you actually won't kill him before your invincibility candy runs out, like what happened there. And then, yeah, that happens. I start losing a lot of time. So now we're gonna go into 5-4. I just skipped a cutscene there, and we also just fought the leader of the main antagonist. I'm gonna explain a little bit. Basically, on our quest for the cake, they actually stole our cake, the Squeaks. They didn't mean to. They were trying to steal a chest containing an ultimate power called the Dark Nebula. And in doing so, they mixed up a cake with our chest, like a chest with our cake for a chest with the Dark Nebula. So we actually just got Dark Nebula from the Squeaks, but then Meta Knight came and took it from us and locked it in the Secret Sea, which is the world we're in now. 5 of the available treasures in this game that I didn't talk about are called the Star Seals. If you don't have the 5 Star Seals after beating World 6, you cannot get access to World 7 and 8. So those are like, I mentioned that you only get like 7 or 8 chests in the in the any percent run for this game. 5 of them are those chests. However, this is 100%, so I don't need to worry about collecting the Star Seals since I kind of need them for collection purposes. But that's just like a little story thing that happens at that part of the game, and that's why we fought like the leader of the antagonist. 2 worlds before we were done with the game. Also, I'm trying to like press the A button, and that's not going too hot for me. That level can be pretty scary. The swimming, out of all the Kirby games that you swim in, this one might be a personal least favorite for mine in terms of the swimming mechanics in this game. So like the ocean screens can be very scary. Also because you can't inhale in water. So if you get hit in water, your ability is just kind of like gone.
No.
But yeah, I guess
hydrate, Kirby.
I guess there's your good news though. The mice aren't technically evil. They're just the antagonists.
Yay! Redeemable mice.
Yeah. This chest can be annoying to grab. It's going to be annoying to grab. That's not fun. Oh boy. I don't know what the deal with this chest is, but it's very annoying. There we go, got it. Please get up. This is a very difficult and challenging and not fun screen, but I got through it. Okay, and that was a fun little thing where I lost, because physics in this game are concepts. They work better in concept, that's for sure. But I don't have my wheel anymore, so I'm gonna grab a beam for this rematch against the Bubble Crab, which does pretty good damage against it, but I still would like to have wheel, just kind of to speed through the previous two rooms. Fortunately, once I get through that room, I don't need, like, usually once you get done with the crab, you don't need wheel anymore, because the next chest requires I use fire. So it wasn't, like, as big of a time loss as it, like, losing a wheel usually is, but it was still, like, sad and unfortunate and not fun. Which are things I don't like in my speedy game.
That's relatable.
And then I like this, we just kind of grab the chest from Doc and then run.
Yoink. Also, someone in chat pointing out that, oh yeah, with Kirby constantly consuming everything inside, hydration isn't really a concern, and that is something Kirby shares with mice, who also don't usually hydrate directly because they get enough hydration from their food.
Oh, nice. I somehow didn't get hit by that enemy with the fire there, and then I'm... This run has been very... This run, I've noticed, has been very slowly crumbling, so for those who are a fan of watching World 8, you might like at this pace. Because I am playing funny. Please just slide.
I mean, it's like, it is an hour and a half run. Like, yeah, stuff's gonna happen.
I know. I just noticed that I'm messing up a lot more now than I was in the... But we're getting closer to the end, so I'm gonna stay positive.
Yeah, you're winning that underwater scuba race with the mouse.
I did just win the underwater scuba race with the mouse. So, this is a pretty weird level that I don't like that much. There's a lot of very slow swimming, and then there's a lot of then there's a lot of enemies, and then there's a point where you stop swimming and then there's still enemies, and that's not cool. It does have one of my personal favorite strats in the whole run, though. I'll talk about that one. But there goes my fire. There's a point in this level where I get rid of fire, so I'm not too upset about losing it now, but I still am going to lose time for losing it now. I also had to swim in a big circle just to get that chest, so... I hope that was fun. I think it's probably a good idea to maybe get another donation or two in. If we can. I know we were close to 2K, and I don't know if we did that.
We're still closing in on 2K. Just need $11 little. And in case you're wondering where that money's going, it is going to the Trevor Project, which is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. You can check them out at www.thetrevorproject.org to access their services, find out more about the impact, or just to donate directly. You can also donate by typing in !donate in the chat.
Okay, so here, I go in this warp door to get the chest immediately from that guy, and then I immediately run up to this corner. That's supposed to be like a maze. You don't know which door leads you to the actual end, but you can use it to your advantage to make that room a lot faster. That's the strat I really like. And then we have this level. It's another one-off level before a boss fight, but it gives us wheel at the beginning of it. So, I still need to do the level right, though. I can't. That bonk was not necessary. There we go. So we just have the X, which is a kind of classic Kirby level trope here. I'm going to have to, it's just kind of like a door maze, and I have to pick certain doors, and if I pick the right ones, I get collectibles. It's very short, and then we'll be at the next boss fight. So I just grab this chest and boom. Alright, boss fight time. So this boss fight, I mentioned that in the cutscene after World 6, we saw Meta Knight take away the chest. So we're gonna go fight Meta Knight to get our cake back. I'm also gonna grab this sword. Usually Meta Knight makes you duel him with a sword. That's not in this game, he just lets you fight. You can use that sword, but I'm actually gonna use that sword for something else. Instead of ending him, he's gonna die. Invincibility.
Just chilling.
Good.
Yeah. Just chilling in his hitbox.
So I've been doing this in every boss, but I haven't explained it. Since the chest that ends the level drops from the top of the screen, and the level starts ending like as soon as you grab the chest, I just kind of float at the top middle of the screen once I beat a boss, so that I can grab the chest faster and end the level just a little bit faster.
Yeah. Castlevania strats.
Yeah. That's like the last time in the run I actually have to do that, so I guess I'll explain it now. Okay, that was a good turnaround. Oh, that was not. I complimented my movement for 1 second, and then I messed up the next thing I did. It's like that sometimes. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that was good. Alright. This level is pretty technical. For the most part, it's like the same as it is in, has also kind of conglomerated in this part of the level that I'm in right now. There are 8 cannon directions I can shoot, and each one has a different door. So I'm going to go to the top left to get an invincibility candy, use sword in the top room to get my first chest, and then I'm going to use this wheel here that I get. If I already got the luck-based wheel mix, which I did all the way back in World 6, I can use the one I got there to save a few seconds, instead of having to run over to that wheel bubble and pick it up. But there's the second chest in that room, and also the path to the end of the level, and in the very last room of the level is the third chest. This room is scary because there's a lot of pits in it, and Spinny is in here, and Spinny likes to jump. So Spinny can very easily be over a pit when the chest gets knocked out of his hand, and the chest is going into a pit. Not fun.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, sure. This level is pretty tricky, but there's not a lot to explain. So, go for donations, I guess.
Alright, just a quick one. Thanks to Radical Eddie's $11. We are at 2K. 2K hype!
Yeah! Let's go.
Thank you, everybody. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. If it's okay, these next 2 rooms I probably want to just concentrate on, because it's very easy for me to lose my wheel in here. Okay, I made it through that one. That's one of the 2 rooms that's difficult. There is another one here that has a water. The room gives you a ninja bubble because it's trying to advertise that with the ninja ability in this game, you can actually walk on top of water surfaces, which is really cool, but also wheel can drive on top of water surfaces, so you can imagine which one I prefer to use.
The one that goes really fast.
Yeah. Okay. So I have wheel into this room now. That's good. This is the last room of the level, and it's just a straightforward hold. So I'm good. I'm past 8-2, and I still have wheel, which is really good, because 8-2 is really scary and mean, and I don't like it.
Congratulations.
This level is going to see a lot of collectibles being added out of the game. Such as the ghost medal, which turns every previous mini-boss in the game into a ghost, and allows you to pick up the ghost copy ability, which I'm pretty sure is exclusive to this game. And it also opens the ability room that almost every Kirby game has, where I can go to that part on the map and grab any ability I want. And in this game, you can grab ability bubbles. So the backup for not getting, if you want the backup for not getting the luck-based wheel mix, instead of just going without a wheel, is you can actually just grab a wheel level from there, and it's cool. But 8-3 is actually the last level of the game before the final boss world.
Nice.
It's fine getting hit by that dude there and losing my wheel, because actually this mini-boss is going to be our first and only use of laser in the run to deal with this mini-boss quickly. And I say quickly, but I'm kind of messing it up. There we go. Now that I've dealt with that mini-boss, there's this giant room full of dirt. So for the first time, since I actually think, like, World 5, maybe, I'm actually going to be using the animal ability. Which is also, I think, introduced and exclusive to Squeak Squad. So that's pretty cool.
You get to be a mole.
You get to be a mole. You get to dig through the dirt really fast. So I dig through the dirt to hit that button, and then when I go this way, there's a chest in this direction, and I'm back at the start of the room. So... that's good. I'm gonna get rid of my animal ability. This room has a fire, which is really good for speed, as I mentioned all the way back at the beginning of the game. I still want the fire. This room has a warp star in it. And then... once we finish riding this warp star, it's a pretty long animation. This room will actually, pretty early on into it, have some high jump enemies. I'm going to be taking high jump from them. Because I want to use high jump for the chest in this level to break these metal blocks. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to... try and... okay, I didn't do it perfectly, but I got 2. In an ideal situation there, I would have got triple star off of getting 3 enemies in my inventory, or in my mouth there at once, so I could do a very big projectile. However, a double star also works. And that is a really quick dogfight. And now we're going into the final boss. After this last health upgrade, of course.
Does the game tell you the percentage at the end?
Well, I can see the chest counter at any point on the map screen, but also if I get 100%, I will have a screen at the end of the game that says, like, 100% complete. So this is Dark Deroche. It's basically the Deroche fight, but it's, like, their attacks are a lot bigger, which usually doesn't matter if I'm using invincibility candy. However, he is being insanely rude right now. So, I unfortunately did not get to do the invincibility candy kill, and I now need to kind of run into him a bunch. Which is hard to do with Wheel, but I want to have Wheel here once I beat this boss. I'm going to try and... okay, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let go of Wheel and hold it in my mouth. Just like every other Kirby game, this game also has like a special ability that it wants you to lose for the final boss. Unlike most other Kirby games, though, that final ability is optional. I can just choose something else over it. And also, unlike most other Kirby games, that final ability is actually really bad. The Triple Star Cane is not great. So I'm actually going to immediately get rid of it. And with the wheel in my mouth, I'm going to use that instead. Because that's just, like, better than, what's it called? That's just better than the Triple Star Cane. I'm not going to be using it to fight the final boss. I don't have another... that's not really a great idea. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is, once I get into the screen with the final boss, I'm going to be equipping Cutter. And this ability I don't think I've used since a treasure chest in World 4 is going to be what we use to defeat the final boss. So this is the Dark Nebula. It's not a very interesting or good final boss. Basically, his thing is that he has 3 forms: fire, ice, and electricity. And he will switch between them at will. Each of them have their own attacks, obviously based off of the element that he turns into. But the fight is, I'm basically just going to be spamming cutter while holding up and trying my best to hit him without getting hit as much. Explode. Time. I realized my stream started lagging a lot near the end of that fight.
There was a little bit of an internet hiccup, but that's okay. When you're fighting like the concept of time and space, sometimes like stuff happens.
Yeah.
The replay.
Yeah. Whew. I guess we can make a positive out of that. The stream is fine. The end of the run time was clear. And looking at the timer on screen, this was a PB by a little bit over a minute.
Nice! Wow, congratulations!
So I'm really happy about that. Because there were some rocky parts of that run. The last time I got my PB was all the way back in March when I did the relay race. The Japanese Kirby community for a very long time has been doing relay races, and back in March when they did their 2020 relay, for the very first time they actually introduced 2 Western teams. So a lot of us in the North America and some, also a lot of the European and South American Kirby runners got to get in on the relay, and I had to do this game. Because most of the Kirby games that I run, either there were other players or they weren't in this year's relay. But I learned this game after not really touching it seriously in 6 years, and I had a lot of fun with it. So shoutouts to just kind of the general Kirby community from all over the world, because no matter what part of the world you're in, you have a great bunch of people to speedrun with. And there's my 100% screen. So, yay! I can verify I didn't miss a chest.
Congratulations!
Thank you. But yeah, that was a very fun run. And coming up next is a game that I'm a very big fan of, so stay tuned on the stream. Stay tuned all weekend, because you're going to have a great time.
Thank you so much for that amazing run, and thank you everybody for those donations. So yeah, we're going to leave you with some chill tunes for a little bit, and see you real soon for some Freedom Planet with Traylina.